julle en welkom by hierdie spesiale uitgawe van BRANDT. For the folks not too comfortable with Afrikaans, you're welcome to forward. I will do the second part of this video in English. You can skip to that. Die rede vir hierdie spesiale uitgawe van BRANDT is om namens die direkteure van Cape Exit 'n saak baie duidelik te stel en uit te lig. Dit is 'n brandpunt wat op hierdie stadium aandag moet geniet en dit is die proses van onafhanklikwording en wat nodig is om onafhanklikwording suksesvol te bereik. Om onafhanklik te word is 'n proses wat in die geskiedenis al gebeur het. Meer as 200 lande het alreeds suksesvol seseer, dit wil sê onafhanklikheid verkry. En daar is op hierdie stadium 114 lande wêreldwyd wat besig is met die proses. So daar's 'n raamwerk. Daar's maniere wat 'n mens kan sien wat gewerk het en wat nie gewerk het nie. Kom ons praat van onafhanklikwording van land A. Land A het besluit hy wil onafhanklik word. Wat is die prosesse wat gevolg moet word? Nou ek is seker daar is van u wat weet wat dit behels. Ek wil dit graag uitlig sodat almal bewus is van waarmee daar gewerk moet word. Onafhanklikwording bestaan hoofsaaklik uit twee bene. Die twee bene is onlosmaaklik deel van mekaar, kan nie geskei word nie en dit dra gewig. Beide elkeen dieselfde hoeveelheid gewig. Die eerste been is die steun van die mense, wat ek gaan bespreek is die steun van die mense. En wat beteken die steun van die mense? Nou, 'n meningspeiling, dit wil sê 'n professionele maatskappy gaan en hy doen 'n meningspeiling vir 'n populasiegroep. Dit kan 'n klein gedeelte van die populasie wees, gewoonlik nie 'n vreeslike groot of oorkoepelende deel van die populasie nie. Hy doen 'n meningspeiling en hy kry 'n uitslag. Dis nie genoeg om 'n besluit te neem om onafhanklikheid na te streef nie. Dit is net nie genoeg nie. Want 'n meningspeiling is presies wat die woord sê, dis net 'n meningspeiling. So die steun van die mense gaan daaroor dat mense wat binne 'n land woon, die burgers van land A, ingelig moet wees oor wat die proses behels, sowel as die uitslag daarvan. Wat gaan die implikasies wees vir my en my familie, my broer en sy familie, en almal wat hier woon, wanneer die proses suksesvol afgehandel is. Dit wil sê, elke persoon moet dit steun en weet waaroor dit gaan. En dit is die ware steun van die mense. En dis 'n proses wat tyd neem. Dit wil sê, die bewusmaking in die gemeenskap, om vir mense te sê, wat gaan die uitslag wees? Wat is die resultate? Wat kan hulle verwag? Wat die voordele en nadeel vir elkeen gaan wees? Dit moet mense weet. En daarsonder help dit nie, 'n mens jaag na 'n spesifieke behoefte of geval, die helfte van die populasie, en jy kry gou-gou die steun, maar niemand weet regtig waaroor dit gaan nie. Dit is nie 'n sinvolle proses nie, want dit is tydelik. Mense sal baie vinnig van plan verander as hulle uitvind, daar is inligting wat hulle nie bekom het nie. Daarom is wat ons by Cape Exit doen en wat julle doen so belangrik dat die mense weet waaroor gaan onafhanklikheid. En dan nog dit steun. Die tweede been van hierdie proses is die wetsaspekte of die regeringsaspekte daarvan. En dit behels dokumentasie, dit wil sê beleidsdokumentasie wat die beleid van elke portfolio binne die regering vasvat en bespreek. Nou portfolios binne 'n regering is dinge soos die onderwysbeleid of die verdedigingsbeleid. Wat gaan gebeur met die paaie? Wat gaan gebeur met die marinebeheer? Dis alles beleid wat vasgestel moet word, sodat die tussentydse regering bewus is van die beleid en dit kan deurvoer na die finale regering wat verkies sal word. Die tussentydse regering is bloot daar en sal in samewerking en onder die toesig van beleidskomitees werk en die beleidskomitee in elke portfolio sal toesig hou dat die beleid deurgevoer word deur die tussentydse regering. Wanneer hierdie prosesse almal in plek is, dit wil sê, al die dokumentasie is korrek en in plek, en die mense steun onafhanklikheid, is die kanse vir 'n suksesvolle onafhanklik wording baie groter. En daarom is dit wat ons by Cape Exit doen, is om hierdie proses op die korrekte manier te laat vorder. Gesond en op pad na sukses. Dit is die belangrikste van alles. Al hierdie prosesse kan nie gebou word, geen huis kan gebou word op 'n nat fondasie nie. Dit wil sê, dit is vir ons belangrik om die boodskap oor te dra, dat die groei van ons steun is gesond en gefundeer in gesonde beginsels. En ons sal daarmee voortduur en ons hoop en glo, julle sal ons daarmee help. Baie dankie. Stick around. I will do the second section in English. Hi and welcome to the second section of this video. We decided as directors of Cape Exit to give you information regarding the process of secession, becoming independent, and to inform those who might not be as well informed. The process of secession has been done by over 200 countries in the past. There's currently 114 countries worldwide busy with the same process, so the procedures are out there. And that is what Cape Exit has drawn from to base their current process on what has worked and what has not worked. And the process of becoming independent through secession is based on two legs, basically two very important legs. And I'll discuss each of those individually. The first leg of the process of secession is based on the will of the people. Now, that is a very important part of the process. What does the will of the people mean? It is not something that can be gathered overnight. It most certainly cannot be drawn from opinion polls, because an opinion poll is exactly what the word suggests. It's an opinion. And you cannot base the future of people and their livelihood on an opinion. Therefore, the will of the people needs to be based on information about the process and what it entails and what the outcome for them and their families will be should secession be successful. So, the process that Cape Exit is following is one of informing people through awareness campaigns about the process and gaining support on a solid foundation. You cannot expect people to vote at a referendum based on false or misinformation. That is not a fair process. The people need to know what independence a new country will have installed for them and their families and generations to come. It is extremely important that everybody knows that secession is a process where a new country is born. And if they don't like the idea, they will not vote for it. If they do, they will. But to force people to rush into gathering support to get to a referendum is not a wise idea. The ideal is that you have a solid foundation of people knowing what they're talking about, knowing what secession is about, and supporting it full-heartedly. That is the process that Cape Exit is following. The second leg of the process has more to do with documentation, policies that the interim government, which will be under the supervision of portfolio committees. Now, portfolios are things like, for example, the defense portfolio or the monetary portfolio or marine protection portfolio. There's quite a long list of those, but I think you get the idea. Portfolios needs to be in place. Draft documentation needs to be drawn up, not searched on Google or Wikipedia. It needs to be written by experts in the field. And that takes time. It can be one expert, it might be 2 or 10. The point is that draft documentation needs to be in place for the portfolio committees to give through to the interim government, which will have no executive power but will have to follow these policies. And the function of the oversight committees on each portfolio will make sure have oversight and make sure that the interim government carries these portfolios and policies through to the permanent government, the next elected government of a new country. So those processes need to be in place. It is not a good idea to rush into getting a referendum through false hope or whatever else and not have a successful referendum. Because if you do not succeed with the attempt to become independent, your next chance might be generations away. It is not something that can happen every year at a whim. It needs to be a process based on known principles that worked in the past and that is likely to work in a scenario like what we are busy with. Those are the facts. Anybody that tries to rush to get to a point where they can claim a referendum, but everything else is still lacking, is playing with fire, because it will not have the weight that it needs to have a successful referendum with a yes vote from the people. Because ultimately, if the people vote no, they don't want a new country, they don't want to secede, it won't happen. It can't happen. If the informed population vote yes, they want a new country, they know what it's about, and they know what the future will hold. The draft documentation and the interim government and the newly elected permanent government has policies to work from into the future. That is how it can be successful. And that is why we thought it important to point out the process, so that anybody that thinks if we get to the 50% plus one mark, all is done and dusted, is absolutely missing the point. There's a lot of work to be done. The process is gaining momentum and the work is being put in place. So the gathering of information, the drawing up of draft documents, and the support of the people work hand in hand, cannot be based on weak foundations. Nobody builds on a soft foundation ever. It just will not last. I hope that makes the process more clear, and I hope you understand that gaining the support of the people is but one of the aspects, as important, as long as that is a solid growth and based on solid foundations. I hope this makes it very clear. Have a good day. We will be in touch. Look out for the next version of BRANDT. Good day to you.